What up,
kin folk?
Yo, it's Marley and Meezy, and this is, our first.
Is this our first video together?
First ever video,
like this.
In the history of everything?
Oh my gosh, it's monumental.
It is. It's pretty epic. Historic.
Yes.
In fact. So, what are we talking about today, Marley?
So, we wanted to talk about how we met. I think we've told the story like maybe 20 times or more.
Yeah,
and so we decided we wanted to video it or put in a video and share it with everyone, because a lot of people have questions just about how we met, kind of where our head was at, and maybe some horror stories, or maybe a few stories of the ugly side of online dating, just to keep y'all encouraged, because we went through some stuff too.
Yeah.
Before we met.
And what really led to what led us down the path of going down the Christian dating app road, and
how we ended up on the same 2 Christian dating apps.
Yes.
And we'll share those with you guys coming up.
Absolutely. I think to get context for the story, really going back to why I even got online anyway, because we met.
So we met online. We met on the internet.
We met on the internet.
We met on the internet.
And through an app specifically called Upward. So
right.
It's a Christian dating app. And so, but to back up, I wasn't even really rocking with apps at all as far as looking for someone until a good friend of mine kind of mentioned how she found somebody on another app. And so I was like, really? I'm like, I might need to check this out. So I started a profile, and it was Hinge at first, and it didn't go well at all. It went south real quick, real fast.
What happened? I don't remember this story.
So yeah, I had the profile on Hinge, met a young lady.
Mm-hmm.
She was really everything. At first it seemed like it was going pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But then I went to her house and went to the basement. She had a picture of her ex-husband down there on the prayer board.
Oh Lord.
In her basement. There was a picture of them together, and a couple pictures of them on the prayer board, along with a few other things. Dang. That was on her on the prayer board. And I'm like, And I went and I approached her. I'm like, that's your prayer board downstairs. I'm like, is that your ex-husband? Because I didn't know what he looked like. And she was like, oh yeah. I'm like, I'm confused. Are you still praying that y'all should be together, or no? What's going on? And so she was like, well, I know he's meant to be my husband.
Oh wow.
And I'm what?
Yeah. So you're like, so how do I fit in this picture?
Exactly. What are we even doing? Sis, what's good? I was so confused.
Yeah.
And so, she was just, she was out there, man. She had no business dating. She had no business, with that type of mindset. It's like, come on now. If you trying to make that work and you still praying for it, you still laboring for it in prayer, then what you doing on this website? So
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I can't do it. So I just hopped off there. And
Wait, how long were you dating this young lady?
This was for like I don't know, maybe 6 months.
Okay. So you were invested,
five, 6
and then
months.
you found like the prayer wall, and you're like, what the world?
Yeah. You know, everything started off real good. I think I was over there. We was watching a movie or something, and ended up going to the basement. She was into like swords. So she had like a bunch of swords, like old school, like actual like real swords in her basement. And she was just showing me the swords or whatever. And I just happened to look. Yo, I'm like, I know this ain't her and her.
You said, well, you know what? Let me give her the benefit of the doubt. Let me ask her.
Yo,
you found out what she needed to know, man of God.
Yo, I had to inquire. You hear me? And her response blew me away. I'm like, okay. And then from there, it just went downhill. It's like...
So you had a bad experience. And then you said you hopped off this particular website.
Hopped off Hinge.
Okay.
Deactivated the account.
Mm-hmm.
Blocked the young lady. Deuces to her. And I moved on. And then it was one more thing that was like over the top. Oh yeah. I still gave her the benefit of the doubt after that. But the thing that really put the like nail in the coffin was that we were sharing each other's location. And all of a sudden on like a Wednesday, she went ghost on me. I got the notification that she stopped sharing her location with me. Mm-hmm. And I sent a text, and I said, we stopped sharing locations now? Nothing. I sent another text like 45 minutes later. Did you get my last text? Nothing. I called. Nothing. And I wait a little bit, and I call again, like maybe 15 minutes later, still nothing. And so I'm like, okay, like I see what's going on, right? I'm not boo-boo the fool, right? So, like 9 o'clock the next morning, I get a phone call. Hey, good morning. How are you doing? Really?
Wait, back up. So this all happened after you found the prayer wall?
Yes.
And you still continued to talk to her?
I did. I gave her.
I
gave her the benefit of. It's like, okay. Well, her answer was, she said, I think I kind of. When she told me, I didn't want to believe it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
She said it was like, oh, like she just hasn't taken it down. No, she said she believed.
She was like, she didn't say that at first. She eventually said that part. But, because I think I skipped a little bit ahead. She said that little piece a little later on. But the fact that he was down there, I forgot what her excuse was, but it was something like, oh, okay. She wasn't like, no, I'm going to, we're still going to be together and all this and that, She wasn't on that. She was like, I still want to be with you, but that's just kind of like for old memory's sake or something, she said.
Mm-hmm. And then later on, you found out, like, no.
Yeah. So it slowly started to unravel, and it built up to the point where she was just like, yeah, I think we're still meant to be together.
Okay.
So, yeah, but then this situation happened. She ghosted me that night, and then she gonna tell me, you remember I told you I was supposed to have, supposed to get up with my girls on Wednesday? I told you that on Monday. Like, no, you didn't. We didn't have no conversation about you getting up with your girls, and regardless of you getting up with your girls, you still stop sharing your location? Like, that's what we on? Oh, well, I just thought it was, I thought about it, and I just felt real awkward about sharing my location. So you not only do you stop sharing your location, but then you go ghost. I'm like, shorty, I'm not the one. Like, I'm not the one. Like, you can play them games with somebody else. You can go tell that to somebody else who might believe that garbage, but I'm good. You know what I mean? So that's when it was a whole wrap. But I was maybe like a month and a half, 2 months at max after that whole situation.
Okay. You kept it moving, and then it kind of shaped your mentality going into, when you did decide to download the app that we met on, which was the Christian dating app Upward.
Yeah.
So what was your mindset then?
So
was there some type of transition?
Yeah, so having jumped on Hinge, it was like, okay, maybe I need to refine and kind of tweak some things. And I'm like, from the jump, like, I just want to be straightforward, and I need somebody who's, saved and who is living for the Lord for real, for real. Because there were some other things with her that was just kind of like, just off, So I'm like, I need to download a Christian app and use that. And so I just Googled Christian dating app. In the App Store, I looked up Christian dating app, and Upward was one of the first ones that popped up. And so I'm like, all right, cool, this look good. I download it, and I'm like, with this profile, I want this profile to be something that's like, cut the fat, straight to the point. I'm gonna say a little bit about, myself, but then I want to list the things that I'm looking for in a woman, just flat out, and the things that are kind of my expectations. So I'm listing, hey, I'm not kissing. I listed, I'm not having sex until I'm married. And I got 2 kids, so I'm listing everything. And so I'm like, if someone can make it past this profile, and past my profile rather, and they rocking with all of this, then we got something. Because I don't have no time for like the conversations where, it's like you gotta kind of build up to that point. It's like, nah, I'm putting this all up front in the dough.
Do you feel like that narrowed it down? Like, did it cut down?
I believe, because if you come into the page and you you on something else in your mind, you see my page, and it's like, oh, he not having sex until he married, but you on a Christian dating website, but you in your mind, you really want to, get down. You look for somebody to have sex with, then you skipping, you skipping on to the next one. So I'm like, yeah, this is gonna narrow down, and that's how I ended up setting up my page.
Okay.
That one, and it's like one more dating app. Yes, young and United Young.
United Young.
Yeah, I downloaded both of those, and I created profiles on both of those.
That's odd that we ended up on the same 2 apps. There were more Christian dating apps, but yeah, those are the 2 that I was on. And I don't have like any specific like horror stories with a specific person per se. I do have, because I didn't actually start dating anybody from the apps. So I had a past being on dating apps like before I got saved. And then once I did get saved, I was kind of like conflicted of like if I wanted to be on dating apps. I just was like in this space of being like, you know what, I'm just gonna prepare and just wait for my husband to find me, in person. I'm gonna stay busy. I'm gonna, just serve the Lord and do that. And then, years and years and years and years and and years passed, and I got around some different people with like, different mindsets. And
hold on, time out. How many years passed?
Since when?
you said years and years and years passed since you were kind of like
okay.
with
So
the
since I was
mentality of just
saved,
gonna,
yeah. So when I was saved, I I'm gonna have to do the math. It's kind of tricky. So I was in Michigan. I was saved. I waited. I got saved. I was abstinent. I decided I wanted to be abstinent, and I would say I did that for probably like a good year, without being on any type of like dating app or anything. And I believe I tried it again, because like I said, I was on dating apps before I was saved. I was on dating apps before I was saved, and then I got saved, took a break, took a breather. And then I had a friend back in Michigan who was like, she was younger than I was too, and like having fun. And she's like, yeah, she was like, I met somebody cool on there, and then showed us his profile and stuff. And so it kind of like planted a seed for me, like, oh, I kind of want to, like, I haven't dated in a while, like, I'm not really meeting anybody. So like then I wanted to do it too. So I got on there. So I guess this is a horror story. I got on there and I met somebody quick. I mean, he took me off that mug quick, like locked it down. Yes. Like, we were messaging and it just like kind of went fast. I was like, oh, let's meet. Like we met pretty quick, like in person. And it seemed, pretty cool or whatever. And this would be different from your story. Like this was a person who was like, he was unequally yoked from me. So like he wasn't, I guess it was similar to yours. Like he wasn't abstinent up front, but he was willing to be like, or willing to try it, for me. So it was like one of those like classic, like being unequally yoked with somebody, and it kind of pulled me away from God, that relationship. So yeah, that was a little horror story. So that was like my first jump back into online dating as a saved Christian. And so then after him, I was like, man, I ain't going back on them dating apps. Like, that was a demon, like, for real.
Oh, hell yeah.
No offense, bro. Yeah, but like.
No offense, bro. Sorry, not sorry, bro.
Yeah, so like, after that, I was like, you know what? I'd rather not,
Right. I'd rather not.
Yeah, so like I would say 4 years then, because that's 3-4 years. Because when I moved here, maybe 2-3 years. Yeah, when I moved from Michigan to Chicago, I never got back on the dating apps. Like when I first moved out here, I took 2 years probably. So I guess I was exaggerating. years and years and years and years and I should have said months and months and months. But so yeah. Okay. So what was I saying with my horror story? So the horror story, mine. Okay, so this is Chicago. After taking a break from online dating, from having the demon.
The demon.
We will not say his name.
He who shall not be named.
Right.
Derek. No. Derek the demon dude. Whatever.
Oh gosh. So yeah. So fast forward to in Chicago, I really wasn't super pressed about getting online until I really had taken a lot of time to, get healed from my past. Mm-hmm. I had put a lot of energy and effort just in myself and my relationship with God, and grown a lot. And I was like really in the place of like, okay, I really want to date. I'm ready. And I happened to be around women that also like were in the same kind of pocket of space, like also ready and just not meeting anybody like in person, but ready to date. And yeah, so we had all had a mutual friend who she's like an expert on the online area and just like kind of helped us as Christian girls because we were all like, ooh, like just scary about getting back online or being online. So she was like helpful with us, like making our profiles. We were all at her house, I think for a New Year's party, and just like took out our phones and like they kicked us out there into the online world. Like it was great. It was needed. It was like a huge push. So we like made our profiles together and like they helped us pick out the pictures that we should use, and it was helpful. And kind of like we just started talking about like, you know, like first date stuff that you talk about with like what kind of music do you listen to, like, you know, stuff besides like church, just to help us be like more social. And so yeah, it was very helpful and helped a lot of us kind of like start getting into that groove and just be open to being online, because there are so many different stigmas in the church world, or not even the church world, just older people of like being online who aren't used to, you know, how we are now in our generation. So that's that.
So how long, so when you downloaded, by the time you downloaded Upward and set up that profile, it was about 3 years since you had last dated, or
online
with that guy?
With that guy, like dating somebody, yeah, having like a boyfriend, dating, yeah. So I didn't date anybody in Chicago, but I did, once they helped me set up the profile, which was not the Christian app. It wasn't Upward or what was the other one? United Young. It was like Hinge, like you said. And there was another one. It was a couple that we set up. So it wasn't the Christian one, actually. It was the other ones. So yeah.
So how'd you end up downloading Upward?
So fast forward more time of continuing to be like in a good space. I had went back to this book that I previously would read way back when I was in Michigan, like when I was saved and like first saved and kind of getting into that groove of prayer and learning how to pray for a future husband, because at that time I was volunteering. And so yeah, there was a book that I went back to that me and a few friends had done a book study on, and I had just felt the desire or the need to go back to it. And it was a book titled Praying for Your Future Husband. And it had prompts to help you pray for your future husband, but also look back at yourself and kind of pray the same things for you. And in turn, it helps prepare your heart for your future husband coming into your life. And so I started to go back to that just when I would start feeling any type of like longing for my future husband. I felt like, you know, it's normal. You know, I have been single for some years, and it's like not such a bad thing that I do actually desire to be married one day. So I started to turn it more into like a positive thing and, you know, prompting to pray for him, and started actually recording it on my YouTube channel at that time. And yeah. What was I even talking about though, about that book?
So
what was I?
How did you end up downloading Upward?
Okay. So once I was in that place, I was actually talking with someone, and I was on, you know, the other dating apps, but I was kind of embarrassed about it because I had just I had conversations on there, but they just didn't go anywhere. And it was like off top, like I knew like nah, because they either weren't equally yoked or it just didn't go far. Something like we went through our non-negotiables and deal breakers, the red flags. So like nobody really like made it past that. So I guess I was a little bit not defeated, but not really optimistic on there until I talked to someone and they asked me, what they were asking me, just inquiring about like my dating situation. And I was telling them I was on a couple of apps, but like, I don't really go on there that much, and just kind of from like an embarrassed point of view. And she just really encouraged me, like, she was like completely opposite of the people I had talked to about online dating, because a lot of people will just be like, ooh, like it's just like a cringy topic. Yeah. But she was like very like, oh no, you have to spend a good amount of time on there, like give it a shot, like you have to think about it like when you're looking for a job or you're at work, like you spend time, you put energy into it. And so I kind of shifted like my mindset about the dating apps in general. Honestly, I don't know how I ended up on those two specific. I'm sure it was probably something along the lines of like, I had bumped into too many unequally yoked people, and I just wanted to be, just to meet people that were, number one, saved and Christian. And so that was my way of weeding out some of that, because you still had to do your research and check on people even on the Christian apps as well. But yeah, I think that's how I ended up on Upward.
Okay, so we met March 2021.
Yes.
And at that point, you had been, when was the last time you were in a relationship before that?
That was back in Michigan.
Relationship.
Right. That was the relationship we just spoke of, where I met him online in Michigan before I moved out here. Yeah.
Okay. So how many years was that from last March? What'd you say?
I just said
3 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you guys. So that's been a lot. That was a lot we just talked about right there. And we got a lot more to share with y'all. And it's going to be kind of juicy, I think. No, I don't know. But yeah, we're going to share with you guys how we met and give you like a firsthand look or, details about what went
What went
What went down / what happened
down and what happened.
Yes.
After the nightmares. So
yeah,
we're transitioning from the dreams, from the nightmares into the promises of the Lord. Yes. So stay tuned. We are going to get back with y'all with the next part soon.
Make sure you guys like the video if it was what you like.
That's supposed to be the transition out.
I know, like but I can use this voiceover.
The cool Instagram. Smooches.
Bye, guys. Love you.